Let's do it. Hey, let's do it. Come on, let's do it. Hey, let's do it. A lot of people, yes, a lot. I said it. A lot of people have been asking me to make this video showing what my toddler eats in a day. So on this very chilled Saturday, I'll show you what he ate, okay? And we are going to start with a breakfast. So breakfast on a Saturday is typically at around 8 a.m. And on this day, he had oatmeal with some fruits. Let me show you how I made that. So first, obviously you need some oatmeal, some milk, fruits. Personally, I love to use strawberries, blueberries, and apples, and some bananas as well. So the first step is to put a pot on fire and add some milk to it on low heat. Allow it to boil with the oatmeal added into it so everything boils together. You know, just stir it, mix it. For the apples, I always make sure to peel the skin so it doesn't taste bitter, you know, for him, and I cut into bits as well. Then I just make sure to clean to wash all the other fruits as well. So once that's done washing the fruits, I cut them into bits into the oatmeal that's already on fire, and I do it very early so everything can cook with the oatmeal. I do this because I want the juiciness of the fruit to get into the oatmeal, because I don't add honey, I don't add sugar, I don't add salt. So I want it to be sweet for him. And like I said, I cut the apples into bits so that they cook easily and they become very soft for him to chew as well. Also add the bananas as well. I just make sure everything cooks together because that's where the sweetness of the meal is going to come from. So once it's been boiling for a few minutes, I go back and I stir, make sure it's not getting burnt. Depending on the type of pot you're using, you know, it might get burnt if you don't watch it. So I constantly watch it and constantly stir on low heat just to make sure it's, you know, cooking well. So now that it's done, I'm going to, you know, just stir again and then take it off fire and dish it into his plates. And it looks like a lot, but I promise you, it's so good. He loves it and he always finishes it. Now I'm just adding some banana on top of it, you know, just to give him more taste, and I'm adding some milk so it's not so hard. And this is what the final look. You know, you can add other fruits if you want, but for me this looks delicious and good enough for him, and every time he loves it. Look at him, he's ready to eat. Please ignore his hair. It was a very lazy Saturday. We were just chilling, I was chilling, he was chilling, so we were taking it easy. He loved it. I mean, you can see already. I wanted to mention that please allow it to cool. You can see it's very hot when it's on fire, so you want to make sure that when you dish it, you allow it to sit. I typically let it sit for about 10 to 12 minutes before I start serving it to him. So once it's about 10 a.m., it's time for a snack, and typically I give him these snacks from Grabbers. They have some snacks for toddlers that he loves. There is another banana one that he really likes as well. So either of those, I just kind of let him choose whichever one he wants. I give him like maybe 2 or 3, maximum of about 4 pieces. It's just for him to snack on something and then drink water with it as well. He was offering some to Zad when his dad came to play with him. And on this particular day, he really wasn't that hungry, so he probably ended up eating like only 2 out of those. I typically get these snacks from either Target or Walmart or HEB. Most stores have it, even Amazon has it, so you can buy it, you know, from any of your grocery stores. Now when it's about 11 a.m. or 11:15 thereabout, it's time for him to have his milk for the day. Yes, I know I added some milk to his food earlier, but he still gets a cup of milk before his nap time. Usually this calms him down. You know, I put that in the microwave for about 40 to 50 seconds, and I warm it up, and then I give it to him. It calms him down before he has to go take his afternoon nap. He was just like, give it to me. I wanted to watch his show, but I wanted to make him sit, so I eventually pulled him away from the TV and told him to sit down. So when he was done by 12, he typically goes for his nap, and when he wakes up at about 3, he eats lunch. This is sweet potato. I'll show you how I made it shortly. That's what he had for lunch on this day. So typically I wash my sweet potatoes well, you know, they're always very sandy and all of that. There are different ways I prepare my sweet potatoes. Sometimes I cook it on fire, you know, in water, and other times I bake it. On this particular day, I decided to bake it. So I make sure it's well washed, and then I dry with a paper towel, remove all the excess water. Then I place on my baking pan on top of a parchment paper, and then I poke the sweet potato all around. That way it doesn't explode when it gets into the oven. Just poke it all around, all over. Make sure to do that, and then I do the barest minimum seasoning, which is typically olive oil rubbed all over each sweet potato. So I just add a little bit, and listen, when this goes into the oven, I think I've showed this before on the channel, it smells so delicious. Then I add some black pepper to it as well, just a little bit, and I rub it all over, and it gets stuck, you know, on the olive oil that I already have on the sweet potato. And then I add a little bit, just a little bit of salt as well all over it. Just, you can see a little, just for taste, you know, to bring everything together. Once that's done, I place in the oven, usually at 350 degrees for an hour, like an hour. And then when I turn it off, I allow it to cool for another 15 to 20 minutes. It's already cool here, that's why I can touch it, you know, so don't do this at home unless it's cold. But yeah, it comes out looking very soft, look at how yellow, I mean, like, yummy. So it was around 3 p.m. here, so it was time for him to eat. That was why I decided to just prep. He was already awake from his nap. It typically takes a nap from about 12 to 2:30. He usually wakes up around 2:30, but I let him chill and then I go get him. So for the remaining, I just wrap in a foil paper and I place them in the fridge for, you know, when next is ready to eat sweet potato. It's a good way to meal prep. Yeah, so this is the sweet potato ready to eat as is. Very delicious looking, very sumptuous looking. However, I'm going to show you something else that I decided to do because I wanted him to have some protein. This is a cup of blended chicken, boiled, cooked chicken that I had at home, and I was just like, you know what, let me add some protein for him since he didn't have protein in the morning. So what I did was to take some, then I added some butter to it, then I warmed it up in the microwave. So once it was done warming, I mixed it together, you know, with the butter and everything, and then I poured it on top of the sweet potato. this way, you know, it's still, I have to do it this way because he doesn't like chicken, and I don't know why he doesn't like chicken. I'm still trying to get him to eat chicken, so I always trick him into eating some chicken by mixing it with his food, like so. It was playing with my mouth. He wanted to touch my mouth, so I was like, okay. But yeah, you know, I just went ahead and fed this to him, and as always, he enjoyed it. He could taste the chicken. I'm sure he wasn't sure if it was chicken or not, but you know, he acted a bit differently, like, what's this? But eventually he just kind of ate it because the taste of the sweet potato was much stronger than otherwise. Alright, so when it was about 5 p.m. I decided to feed him, well, not feed him, but just give him a snack break. But instead of biscuits, again, I went with Ribena. Typically I just put a little bit, I was checking to see which of the cups, I just put a little bit in his cup, and then I mix it with some water, and then I give it to him, and he likes it. You know, it has all the vitamins and nutrients that are good for him, so I love that. So when it's time for dinner, this is beans. Yes, he loves his beans, and beans was how we introduced him to pepper. I was showing you carrots just now. Typically with his beans, we add a little bit of pepper, we add a little bit of, well, not a little bit, we add some carrots as well, and that's how we cook it. So I had it in the fridge already, and you know, I just brought it out, took some and warmed it up, and I mean, it's already put in. I don't need to put anything. Look at how he's sitting. I don't need to add anything to it again. You know, and I feed that to him. Now I know I fed him a lot in this video, but like you saw in the beginning, sometimes he feeds himself, and I'll show you another option that I use for breakfast again, which I serve him with to encourage him to feed himself. Sometimes I'm rushing and I'm just like, okay, eat. Other times I'm just like, I don't want him to mess up his clothes. But on this day, I just forgot I'm feeding myself all through the day. So yeah, let me just show you very quickly an alternative to the oatmeal. This is another option I use for serving him oatmeal when I want him to feed himself. I have some fruit, that's yogurt over there, and then the oatmeal as well, and then I serve it to him and he feeds himself. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you aren't. I pray God blesses you, your homes, your marriages, your relationships, your babies. Most importantly, I pray God blesses you. Remain in God, and God bless you. Mwah. Bye.